Landlords will be able to charge an extra 2 weeks bond for tenants who want to move into rentals with their pets under proposed changes to the Residential Tenancies Act. The government's move is designed to reduce the risk for property owners who can still say no to pets if they have reasonable grounds. Abby Wakefield reports.
For this Wellington resident, Archie is so much more than just a pet.
He's more family than like my parents. Like I spend more time with him than I do with my parents.
But finding a roof for them both to live under was difficult.
It's a nightmare if you can't afford to buy a house.
In an effort to change that,
this is a very lady hawk.
Look at those two bitches, and the politicians there as well.
the coalition
I do like
governments
Bishop's dog.
Yeah, it's cute. What is it? That doesn't necessarily reflect its owner.
introducing pet bonds.
We know that many landlords right now just simply say a blanket no to having pets in their properties.
It also addresses a much darker problem, which is abuse of animals to get at people, because often it's a partner being abused who stays in an abusive relationship for fear their pet will have nowhere to go.
What the
That's
fuck
a
is
real
that?
edge case.
Well,
that's weird.
Let's see some numbers. I mean, I'm sure that happens. I'm sure people stay in abusive relationships for their kids and stuff as well. But the way fucking Seymour was talking about, it's like every third pet owner out there. It's like, what is he talking about? And can I just say, the kinds of people, the kinds of individual who would be up for abusing a partner, obviously more often than not the male to the female, is probably doesn't give a shit about pet bonds anyway. Probably has a dog in the house without even kind of getting permission. So that's a strange selling point. All you abused people out there who don't want to leave your pets, things will be good now. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, that is super strange. Like, I don't doubt that situation has existed, but it's weird to bring up.
It's a strange one.
Like, this is the whole reason for this piece of legislation.
Yeah. All right. We'll keep going with these two bitches and their owners.
For fear their pet will have nowhere to go.
It will be a maximum of 2 weeks' rent, additional to the standard rental bond, and tenants will be liable for damage beyond fair wear and tear.
For years, tenants have been asking for a proper mechanism to allow them to move in with pets. So I think this is a fantastic opportunity. It's going to be
Great
good
comment
for
there
landlords
from a rental
because there is
company.
now some money there if things do go wrong.
The new rules do require consent from landlords. The Tenancy Tribunal will still be the arbitrator of disputes.
The landlord might well say, well, look, you want 20 dogs on your property. Nice try, but that's not something I'm up for. The question of reasonableness again.
Why not
is
a
something
real
that's worked
situation?
through as part of the tribunal
Yeah, what's
process.
with all these
It's
massive
estimated
long bows?
64% of New Zealanders own a pet, with the most common being cats and dogs. Of those, around 3/4 say they consider their pets to be part of their family. The legislation changes are expected to come into force towards the end of next year.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, it just looks like a way that the government creates again, potentially a good headline. Potentially they're saying, hey, all you renters, you're now, but nothing changes. If a landlord goes, no pets, then there's no pets. But what it does do is it gives the landlord the ability to withhold. And so I was just working it out, Chewy. Most places you pay 3 weeks bond now. Some places you pay 4. So that means potentially 6 weeks bond. If you're $800 a week, 6, 8, that's $5,000. Best part of $5,000 you got to put down to get the house now that you're paying 2 extra weeks for a pet as well. I don't see it quite as clearly as the government is telling us. Let me put it that way.
No, because the examples that they've got are just such ridiculous examples. Like, no one's saying that there's renters out there that want to move in with 20 dogs. There are people, like the majority would be cats, some would be dogs and that sort of thing. And it's just like the damage that those sort of pets can do to a property would be equivalent to what a toddler would do.
Yeah.
Piss and poo on the carpet and scratch a door frame or something like that. But it's all stuff that can be remedied. I don't see, I want to see renters have more security in their places.
Of course.
And pets are part of that, right? There's so many benefits to having a pet. Like for your physical and your mental well-being and all of that. And there are so many people, like when I bought a house, the big driving factor was, oh, finally I can get a dog.
Right.
You know, that was one of the big ticks for getting my own house, because I wanted one for so long. And I just knew that there's no landlord out there that would let me have one. If someone's there, they're more likely to stay in that property, which again is a plus for the renter, not necessarily a plus for the landlord.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
mean,
see the need for a carve out for a specific pet bond when you could just say, look, it comes under the same catch-all that it does for the bond already. If the house isn't given back in the condition that it was given, minus fair wear and tear, you don't get your bond back.
Yeah.
Personally, I think if anyone was taking this up and going, oh, I'm going to pay the pet bond, then when they leave, it automatically hit the tribunal button, go straight to disputes, tenancy disputes, if you don't get your bond back immediately. You know, it's just the only way to be sure.
I know someone with a property, and they were asked by their tenant, can we get a cat? And they just sent a message to each other that said, that's fine, comes under the bond, and you agree today that no matter what, you'll steam clean the carpets when you leave. And they went, yep, done. So as you say, if there is damage to the property from the cat, it'll come out of the bond, and they've already agreed to no matter what, there is agreement to steam clean the carpets, so they'll hopefully return it in good, or maybe a bit better condition.
I mean, I think the same process would be, you know, better if it was something along the lines of that, is that a landlord must have a fair reason for denying a pet.
Yeah.
And for the protection of the landlord, that yes, something like that, like we can put in the condition that the house must be professionally cleaned.
Yeah.
When if you have a pet when you leave, and then there's protection for both parties.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like this is lip service to the renters, but the true benefit is to the landlords.
Yep. And as
the rental companies.
Dave's pointed out, and what you've already said a couple of times too, so landlords should have a child bond. Yeah.
Yeah, but they know there's no way in hell they'd get away with it. So, yeah, pet bond it is.